Welcome to Business Reporter's Best of British Business campaign. I'm Georgie Frost. What do patients expect from private healthcare practitioners? Ideally, empathy and attention, and a swift diagnosis followed by appropriate treatment. But most patients won't be aware of what goes on behind the scenes. Complex logistical and administrative tasks means dozens of hours are spent on back office work that might be better devoted to actual care. But technology could hold some of the answers in helping practitioners to focus on the one thing that really matters, the health of their patients. In this series, we'll be exploring the solutions with Healthcode, a provider of IT solutions for the private healthcare sector. In this first episode, we'll be discussing claims management with Peter Connor, Managing Director of Healthcode. Peter, can you just explain to me the hoops that the industry had to jump through before Healthcode's solution came along?
Before Healthcode, it was a totally manual process, and you can potentially envisage the large insurance company getting 10,000 pieces of paper every single day with possibly handwritten invoices. They may struggle to identify the patient. Is that patient insured? What are those services? Are the services covered by the insurance? Is it the right price? So effectively it was a very high cost burden for private healthcare and a very slow administrative process as well. And that had big consequences also for the healthcare providers because it took a long time to get them paid. And if they weren't going to get paid, it took them a long time to find out they weren't going to get paid.
So tell me about then the Healthcode solution.
In Healthcode, we've automated that whole process. It's an entirely electronic process from start to finish. So there's lots of ways a healthcare provider can send us an invoice, but it still comes through electronically. It goes through an online validation and checking process. If there's anything we find wrong with that invoice, potentially we return it back to the sender and we tell them why. If it's clean, we pass it straight through to the insurer, and the process takes seconds. Effectively, we've identified and defined with the industry a whole standardized way of working. We've built standards around messaging, we've built standards around data, which means we can apply efficiency, we can apply fast processing. So an invoice will get from a healthcare provider to an insurer within seconds.
All players in the claims management process handle this extremely sensitive data. How do you ensure that security is top priority?
The data security and sensitivity aspect is paramount. The records that we process, the data we process is potentially the worst type of data you can think of. It's personal identifiable, it's got medical sensitive information on it, and it's got commercial information on it. Obviously, we encrypt the data from the point we receive it to the point we release it. We have the most stringent levels of information security I think we could possibly apply. We're audited independently, we're audited by our customers, we're actually audited by ourselves as well. And the main thing is obviously the insurance world is highly regulated and we make sure that we comply to all those standards.
There are so many players involved in this, so many moving parts. Is your solution a one-size-fits-all? I mean, can it be?
You're right. On one hand, we can have and support a hospital organisation that turns over £1 billion a year. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, we'll support healthcare providers, practitioners just entering the market for the first time. And that gives us complexity. A complex admitted healthcare episode can cost £50,000 to £100,000. Or on the other extreme, a simple physiotherapy episode is a very simple transaction. So we have to make sure the system is flexible enough to support both of those extremes.
So say I'm a new practitioner then, just entering the market. I want to use your solution. How do I get started?
At the most simplest, you can register online with us and you could probably be up and running within 24 hours. We tend to want to try and understand a little bit more about the needs. If a healthcare practitioner has a system already, we'll try and make sure we can work within the parameters of their existing system and support them in that process. If they don't have one, we'll provide them with one.
24 hours. That doesn't sound very complex, but is it costly?
You know what, I think it's actually a cheaper solution than the manual process. We try to make sure that our prices are less than the cost of postage. A lot depends on what the healthcare practitioner has already got. They may have systems in place already, in which case we'll work with their systems. If they've got no systems, we'll provide them with a system.
So what next for Healthcode?
We also, as you appreciate, process an awful lot of data, and that gives us a lot of market insight and intelligence, and therefore we're also providing tools back to hospitals and insurers that will give them better insight into the market and to how they're performing within the market.
Peter Connor, Managing Director at Healthcode.